Welcome to the One More Thing Tech Podcast. I'm Adam,
Quasi.
and we have a really good set of topics today to discuss. And some are going to make people mad, some are not, and that's just okay. We're fine with that. Quasi, I just seen this, and I want to get your thoughts because this really shocked me to hear this news. So you ever heard of the brand called Roku? They do kind of
Yeah.
stuff like,
They make
yeah,
TVs. They make the operating system for all of Walmart's TVs. If you've ever seen a TV from Walmart, the On brand.
not
I'm
all.
about to
They also do Vizio because they bought Vizio at Walmart.
Really?
Yeah, what a bad purchase that was. To buy the one of the worst brands of TVs, like, to exist, but, I'm not trying to judge here too much. Speaking of not judging, though, so Roku is apparently getting bought by Fox for $22 billion. Did you hear that number out loud?
Yeah, I mean, that's nothing.
I did not
Elon
think
Musk
they
could
were
do that
worth.
so many times, you know?
Oh, he could buy and sell back to himself and then go back
World's
and forth
first
a couple
trillionaire, by
times.
the way.
Yeah. I don't believe that. I think there are trillionaires, they just don't want to be known to be trillionaires, you know?
I just don't know if that's
Like,
true.
if I came into that much money, do you think that, like, I'd want to be known to be a trillionaire? That opens up so many issues in life, you know?
Hmm.
Like, people will be kidnapped. There'll be attempts from people to steal your money and just you're a target because you have money. You know, I watched enough crime shows to know that's the kind of case. But speaking of that, Fox is buying Roku for $22 billion. That is a whole lot of money. I did not think they're worth that much, to be honest. I'm not saying they're an awful brand. I'm saying they're an awful brand. What I'm trying to say though is Roku in my eyes restricts more things, and the OS has gotten way worse than it ever used to be. It used to be a pretty decent choice for a streaming box and TV solution for certain people, right? But it's it restricts things, and there's apps that you had to be like graced to be a part of their app store. And they're just not all that. Their 4K version of it can be okay, but there's better options out there. So first off, Quasi, I just want to know, what are your thoughts with this? Is this like a monopoly at this point now? Is this gonna make Fox just way more money? Or, like, what are your initial thoughts with this, recent news?
So I think the big thing with this is that it makes them excuse me. Fox got Tubi back in 2020, right? And okay. And this just kind of continues to build the Fox brand. All right. Now, Fox is by no, I think, obviously Disney owning like 50% of the good TV shows and whatnot. Like they own ESPN. Obviously, they own Disney and they own ABC. I think Disney's in a much better position, but I don't think that Fox is setting themselves up for failure by any means. I think that they're doing themselves a great job. And I was under the impression that Fox got purchased by Disney at one point, but maybe that was something else. I don't know.
I guess for me, I don't understand the strategy behind it, you know? Because it's not like they don't have a solution for a backend for a streaming service. They have, of course, several, and not even to mention the sports side of things, but you have. Is it because of the exclusive, content on Roku, which they have some? It can be because of their OS. I just don't know, like, the overall reasons, because they wanna get into their own boxes for streaming services, to have that, because that could be part of it too. They don't really have that at all, right? And this would give them the option for that. But I guess I just don't see the reason for it, because I wouldn't say Roku as a platform is, like, the most selling out there, right? I mean, I think the Apple TVs, the NVIDIA Shields, and then maybe the Google TV probably sell more than this does, but maybe I'm just not informed like I used to be. I mean, and they used to be more, affordable, and now they're kinda getting into the price point on Apple TV because they charge more for things now. Of course, the little sticks are a little bit cheaper, but I guess for me, I'm more curious what the reason for this is. Is because they wanna capture more of the market or have those exclusive rights for content, or is it just a box? Like, there's gotta be a good reason for this because in my head, that is a lot of money for I don't know why, you know? It just seems to me like it's not worth that much money, but there's gotta be a reason why they go for this. Buying Tubi, another example. I mean, in my head, this is just my opinion. When I think of Tubi, I think of like, okay, this is the streaming service for the $5 bin at Walmart. That's basically what I think of that. It's like either movies have been out for like 10 plus years, or they just so happen to get some exclusive rights to certain things. But mostly it's like these oddball movies and shows that you wouldn't watch anywhere else, but it's free and it makes sense. But see, what they do have is this with Tubi. I'll give them this. It's free. They have ads, but it's free. That makes sense to me, right? When
Yeah.
you charge and then you have ads, that makes me so mad, as you have clearly found out from earlier episodes. But I don't know, why do you think they bought this? I'll ask you that, Kwesi.
Um, just because the first and foremost, I have no clue why they bought it, right? I'm sure that the shareholders probably were like, "This is a great decision." Unrelated. Back to what I was saying earlier, though, I definitely looked it up, and Disney definitely acquired the majority of Fox back in 2019. So, not entirely sure what the difference between Disney and Fox is, but I just thought I'd let you guys know. Um, Unrelated, Roku was originally a Netflix spinoff that now has 100 million viewers. So, it's just they're adding 100 million new viewers to their database, right? I don't think there's 100 million people that watch Fox on the daily, right? I don't think, especially not Fox News. Most people, I get really bad reviews of Fox News. I personally never watched them, but apparently they're just
I don't
like,
watch the news.
somebody keeps calling them fake news. But I think that term fake news is just getting thrown around these days. I hear it everywhere I turn.
Yeah. And I don't know. I don't watch news for various reasons. I think the number one reason I hate watching the news is how long it takes them to tell you something. What you must know about milk tonight at 10. What about now? Or why does it take the weather guy 22 minutes to tell me the 7-day forecast?
Adam, I think there are more important things about 10 than 10 things you must know about milk. So I think they're front loading the
No, I'm saying
important
like
stuff.
they will tell you that there's this issue with milk or something, right? But you won't know about it until 10 p.m. They can't tell you now.
Yeah, for some reason they just can't.
And the forecast takes forever to say it. I could just go on a weather app, pick yours of your choice, and get the information within like less than 5 minutes, right? Or even less than a minute. And I guess I want it now. When I want to know what the weather's going to be, it's before I walk out the door. I go on my app, look at it. For me, it's AccuWeather. I see, oh, it's going to rain today. Put on a jacket or whatever. I go. Not, I sit down, eat breakfast, go through 4 ads. Then I might get, this morning's forecast. But if you would know the afternoon forecast, come back at 10 or, whatever. Like the way it's structured is like I'm not watching a baseball game or a football game where I'm not going to know what the third quarter results are until I get to the third quarter. I just want to know now. And this wait is for me unbearable. I mean, it's a first world problem. I realize that. But at the same time, why is it have to be just drug out so much? I don't know. That's just my opinion with the news. Let us know in the comments what you guys think. But looking this with a Google search, the number one reason why they did this is because they didn't want to pay distribution fees for third-party boxes. So it is the boxes that they're looking for the most. And then there's broadcast uh, revenue with ads. And now they don't have to pay for cable because they can put integration with their own streaming apps and stuff within the boxes themselves. Okay, that makes sense. But maybe gives them an opportunity to make, like, a better box because their boxes are kinda,
I don't know, they're small, they're cheap.
not cheap. Not they used to be.
Roku's like $20.
Yeah, but, like, okay, if you're gonna get a Roku, you wanna get the ones 4K. Why would you not, first off? Let me just see, because
Okay, the
you
4K
would
one is
think
$50.
there's definitely one more than that. I just know there is.
I think I remember you saying once that you don't like Roku.
I don't.
Why is that?
It's $100 for their box. And then they have this thing called it's an integrated soundbar. If you're thinking about buying a soundbar, don't. Don't do it. It's really bad audio. Might be better than the TV speakers, but just by a little bit. Okay, why I hate Roku. I think their process of approving apps for their app store is egregiously restricted. It's really bad. Like, we're lucky we have YouTube on there because I don't know what their vetting process really is for what they have, but I know, like, there are very limited live TV apps that you can have on Roku, so if you have a live TV streaming service, it's not like YouTube or Hulu, you're pretty much out of luck on a Roku. You can't slide it on Roku. It's an Android OS, but very heavily modified. And what I see more though with their OS is just a bombardment of ads. I mean, it's a whole bunch. Like you wouldn't even believe it. If I have 4 apps installed, it might be more difficult to find those 4 apps on Roku than it is anywhere else because they just have so much going on. And it's too busy. I want reduced to what I want to see. And I know Google TV does the same thing a little bit, but you can customize it so you don't see as much or siloed a whole entire new, not OS, but a new, what do they call it? Launcher. So I guess for me, it's the purpose of this device is so I can get to specific apps when I want to and not be just ads out the galore. Like it's as if the same websites that make recipe sites told Roku, we have a great idea for make a lot of money, and that's take your homepage and put more ads than you see in like a home shopping network TV channel. And it's just to me, it's too much. It's overwhelming and it makes me want to sit down and contemplate life when I see it. It's just too much. Like it's bad when you look at the TV, you get overwhelmed, and then you look at the controller just to feel a sense of relief because there's no ads there yet. And it just, I wish it was better. For me, that's the reason for it. And I'll say I've heard from many people that have it. The new update for their OS has gotten worse. It's sluggish. It runs slow. It doesn't run things properly. Do you want to have great audio and content? It's not an option on there. You can't have high-res audio and all this other stuff like you used to be able to do, and it just needs to be better. Like, they can do better as a company, and maybe Fox will make this happen, but right now, there's much, much room for improvement. Do you like it or not? I mean, what's your thoughts, Quasi? Me, I'm just going way out of left field here.
You know, I've used a lot of streaming boxes in my day, right? Obviously, as you know, I have an Apple TV 4K right now. Before that, I've used the Fire Stick and I've used Roku. And if I had to rank those three, or let me also give the old Vizio, let me rank that too, the old Vizio operating system. For me, that's going in second to last place, right? The Vizio TV system was kind of egregious. It didn't have much going for it except for the fact that it worked with my iPhone and we'll call it my Apple kit, home yeah, home kit. The Fire Stick, unfortunately, I gotta say it was the worst one at the time. I don't know if it's good now, but when I was using it, the only thing it had going for it was games. But unfortunately, the storage is abysmal on that. Not that anybody's really storing anything on those, but just abysmal. The browser that you can use, Silk, disgusting, right? It wasn't great at all. But then
Still
I
isn't.
put Roku right at the second best I've used, right? Roku, it's when it comes pre-installed with the TV, or my dad's even bought multiple Roku sticks. But you were saying it's cluttered. The only thing that I find cluttered is the ads on the side of the screen when you're, like, kind of going through your app library, right? I'm not a fan of some of the stuff that comes pre-downloaded, but there's also a button you can hit to hide those things so that you don't have to scroll through them, and you can make your thing really clear or really clean, right? So if I know I'm only using Disney Plus, which I don't use anymore, right? But if I know I'm only using Disney Plus, first and foremost, there's a button for that on the remote. You just press Disney Plus. You're not scrolling through to find it. But I just don't think it's that bad.
Okay, if I had to rank my streaming boxes, the first and best one is the NVIDIA Shield, Pro,
Mm,
I think.
I have not
Um,
even seen that before.
the reason why it's the best is because it's designed so well that it plays everything. I mean, every high resolution 4K UHD, the whole works, high res audio, it just doesn't bat an eye. It can be a Plex server itself. That's how wonderful that device is. Now, I'm not sure how good that is. I haven't done that myself, but just the way that it plays everything is just peak. I love that. Right behind that for me is the Apple TV. The reason why it doesn't serve the first slot for me is just because, like, it has the hardware to play what the Shield can, but they choose not to do that. So you can't play the highest res audio or multi-channel like you can. You can only do two-channel audio on the Apple TV, which is kinda bad. And you just have issues like, okay, here's my biggest issue with the Apple TV. There's a lot of storage in it, right? For what? To just install apps. So what if I want to, like, I don't know, download from Netflix or Disney Plus or Plex a episode of a TV show or a movie so I don't have buffering if I have a night of storms or something like that, right? Where it could be a little bit off for network speeds. I could put a movie or so on there, but you can't do that. And why is that the case? Why can I not download music? If I want to just, have a playlist going where I'm gonna have internet access, but I can play it on the device. I wish they'd let you do that. I guess with the Shield too, you can't really do too much of that, but there's more options if you wanted to. It's more of the developer side. So I wish that was better with it. Um, what I've for me, like the Roku, like is really low on the list. I think the worst is the Samsung Tizen OS. Oh, just as a rule of thumb, for everybody that's listening, if you have a smart TV, generally speaking, outside the Sony OLED brand, don't use tvOS. And here's why I say that. It may look great, it may be convenient for you, but the issue with it is you are sharing the processor with your TV with the processing of the video and the picture and stuff with the TV processor plus what you're playing. If you have a separate box that does all the processing of all that video and audio, and then your TV just does the processing for the picture and video on that screen and the audio, it's a better experience because it's not, again, overloaded. If you can believe it, they don't make tvOSs and the processor's really high end. Sony does, but the only one there is that does this. Otherwise, it's pretty low end processor, and you're overloading it, which means you're gonna have a worse experience when you watch stuff. So having a dedicated third party box stops that issue. So, just as a rule of thumb, make sure you get something. I would not personally get a Fire Stick or Roku. Those are the bottom tier, bottom feeder, disgusting devices. I don't think
Like, I'm
so.
sure there's something worse.
The only thing that might be worse is like a $29 projector with a built-in apps. Some of those are really bad. But like what surprises me is like the on 4K box or streaming stick. It's Google TV. It's surprisingly pretty good. It can play pretty much not everything, but close to everything. It's capped at 100 down for network speed, but for, like, a very cheap price, it's pretty compelling, and I would pick that over a Roku or a Fire Stick any day of the week. Actually, 8 days a week, as the Beatles said in one song. I'm just saying, like, personally, I don't like those 2, and tvOSs for the most part. I have a Sony OLED TV, I still use dedicated box, just so that TV processor can be dedicated to just what it should be doing. So, anyway, this acquisition is gonna be interesting to say the least, and I'm curious to see what they're gonna do overall. If you're gonna see changes with the Roku devices, the OS, the boxes, and what their overall plan is, because there's a lot of options here they can do, and I'm just curious what they're gonna do. Quasi closing remarks. I know I talked way too much in that, and I gotta let you talk more, Quasi, I'm sorry.
You're completely fine. I have nothing more to say about the Roku, right? I went through all of my other streaming services because I haven't really found too many issues with the Roku. Actually, I wanna say, Roku has a lot more storage than most things, and back in the day before I had any consoles, me and my siblings used to play, like, checkers on the Roku TV. We used to play there was this basketball game. We used to play a lot of games, so I think I'm really fond of Roku. I have some nostalgia. But yeah, moving on to the next thing. Did you
Bef
know
Before we get too far, I just wanted to bring this up to everybody's attention. It's either very convenient for this or it just happened already, but they already have a Roku stick with the Fox One bundle with it, like, already.
I think this is very convenient. I think
Yeah.
we've seen this before, so
Sorry about that, I just wanted to bring that
I'm
up.
not super surprised.
Yeah. Okay, sorry.
But yeah, um, just gonna reiterate here, guys. So I know if you've been tuning into the podcast, you've heard us say it before, but there will be no iPhone 18 this year. To clarify, there's no iPhone 18 base model, right? We're gonna be seeing only the premium devices in 2026. And when I say the premium, I mean your 18 Pros and your foldable iPhone, right? There's not gonna be room. I don't think we're getting an iPhone Air 2, right? I don't think that's coming. But
Not this year.
yeah, not this year. But I do know that Apple's planning on staggering their iPhone releases to kind of put that iPhone 18 back where they in that spring event where they released the iPhone 18e. So like if you remember earlier this year, they released the iPhone 17e in March, and the year before they did the 16e in March. So I think at that March thing, rather than that September thing, we'll be seeing those new iPhones. Um, I think this
That's
is
weird.
mostly to push sales for those iPhone Pros, right? The Pro Max is actually the best-selling phone Apple sells, surprisingly, despite it being the most expensive phone. It's really interesting to me. Um, yeah,
Screen size.
I no, it's the battery size. It's not
Well,
the
that
screen
too,
size.
but a lot of people, I believe, buy it because of the screen size. Now, is the Pro abysmal? No, but there's a lot of people that are older or they just want a larger screen because they use that as their primary device, and bigger screen's better. I'm not saying, like, the size of a pizza pan, but, the screen size I think is more possible to view things because I find myself crazy recently, like, even watching TV shows on my phone. And not that I have an iPad with me or whatever, but I'm just trying to see if I like that, and it's not the worst. Um, I mean, I'm not saying that if I'm home, I'll watch that more than I watch the TV, but as a rule, if I'm just trying out because I see people doing that. So I think for me, it's the screen size more than anything. I mean, battery life is, like you said, phenomenal. I mean, not if you're running a beta of iOS 27, but in general, yes, it is. So, yeah, I mean, 18 base, it's weird because like Quasi said, the E series is usually when they, have a different release besides in September events. So is this now in the category of the E iPhones without being called the E? I mean, it's kind of seeming like it, but I think it's also the mega, mega push to fold this year, which is going to be the biggest highlight of the iPhone event. Um, Still not getting one. I don't. I don't see Apple blow me away with this, and I'm not saying Apple sucks, I'm saying they've removed features, and I think it's gonna be a very hard sell to sell a really expensive phone. And with folds not being a new thing, they really could have innovated a little bit better with this, is all I'm trying to say. They could have done more with it. There's a lot of features that folds offer from other competitors that Apple just has not done at all. And there's probably a lot of reasons for that, but I think they could have done more for that price point. I think that should have been a lot better phone, and we'll see. I mean, it's gonna be completely different when it comes out, and we're just not seeing all the stuff where you should be seeing with it yet. I don't see it being just extravagant in every way, you know? Do you think Here's an odd question. Do you think that screen protectors with this device will fold with it as you close it, or be two separate ones that come together?
I have no clue, but I feel like it'd be more of I don't see anybody making a foldable screen protector
Why
'cause
not?
what would it have to be? It'd have to be y foldable glass is not easy to produce, right?
Well,
And
they've done
then
it.
for a screen protector, that's
I'm
probably
just
not gonna work
saying,
very well.
if
I
the
don't know. I think
glass
it might be too
underneath it is foldable, why can't that be made as well?
well, with the, Samsung Galaxy Folds, well, my friend Tavion had a Flip, and his screen protector was it was in half. There was a top portion, there was a bottom portion, and then there was, like the crease was a little bit exposed, so, um, not entirely sure, but I think it might be leaning towards that.
Yeah, I just a curious question. Um, yeah. Do you think they're gonna include charging brick? Charging brick.
No, why would they include that in a phone? Well, you don't need that.
The
What?
the the only reason why I think they might is because this device might, well, probably will definitely have a faster charging rate than like the iPhone Pro will have. I have a feeling that it's gonna be like 10 watts more or something. So I don't know. Like more than an iPad, more than a phone, not as much as a MacBook. It's in that range. Maybe like the not the Neo, but like, what I'm saying? I don't know. It's just speculation. Nothing is confirmed with this at all. But yeah, I'm not opposed to this. I think people are gonna be mad about this because, you know, even though it's not the most selling phone, it's still a selling phone from Apple. So now they gotta wait till next year to get that. I mean, that's kind of bogus, but we all know why. It's because of this AI and chip shortage with RAM and everything. I mean, as Kwesi has mentioned, please pray for RAM.
Oh, yes,
And,
please, keep it in your thoughts and
it's
prayers.
did you also see, just complete side topic? Google is probably the first AI company that I've seen so far that's lowering the price of their AI services. So they're giving you what's like cheaper, plus they're giving you more storage for your Google account. Does that indicate anything with the AI sector? I just don't know.
So, yeah.
I think it's a good move for them because there's so much saturation in the market right now for AI. AI is in everything. It's in Grammarly, It's everywhere.
Yeah.
So, as you guys probably know, we use, Gemini, and I'm not saying it's the best one out there. It's one of the best for what I do with it. It does really good stuff. There really isn't one the best at all, you know? There's not one that's just, like, stumps everything in every
I don't know,
category,
Claude Code is really, really, really I used it
unless
for the
it's
first time the other day because my friend has whatever their premium subscription is, and he gets, like, however many credits, and we used it for
100.
something, and it was just absolutely beautiful.
So here's my issue, and I'll bring this up. This even goes with, Google's Gemini too. Like, if you're vibe coding or just using Claude or whatever, you will just quickly find out how many credits you have in your account. Because, like, maybe my prompts are too big. Maybe I just have too much aspiration for what I'm doing with it. But I would think like 1 or 2 or 3 prompts. "Oh, you run out of your free credits," or "You run out of your credits for the month." It doesn't take long at all. That's my issue, and as you know with coding in general, it's AI can make mistakes. So I'm often going back and having it fix what it didn't do the first time, and it gets right eventually, but it's not like you give it one prompt and just it's 100% great all the time. You have to give it some adjustments, and you have to know how to do prompts, and there's all these ways to make it work the way you want it to. And I'm not saying Cloud's not good. What I'm saying is it's just I find myself using the prompts so quickly. Like, if it's not done 3 prompts, I d you know, it's gonna be a weird day, you know? It's just I don't know. So, just know that with AI, you're gonna have that issue that you when you run into it, and if you're paying for it, it doesn't give you much more. Like, I can't like I said, if it lasts me a day, I'm shocked. You know, I usually have wait because 'cause I'm very detail oriented with things, with coding with AI when I do it, and I wish it was a little better so I can use it more for a better price, and it's just hard right now to do that. Anyway, though, that's a topic we'll talk about, like, in a little bit, actually. But 18
Tune.
base model not coming out this year. It's probably because of the AI, chip shortage and with the RAM shortage as well.
I don't think so. I
You
think
don't
it's
think
more of
so?
Apple trying to, you know, so when they announced the iPad mini back in 2023, I think it was? No, it was probably 2022 or 2021. I don't remember when the iPad mini 5 came out. Or sorry, the iPad mini 6. And it was the only iPad they announced that day, and then that thing jumped in sales, right? When they announced, what was it? What did they announce? In October, when they announced just the MacBook Pro, the MacBook Pro price sky or it jumped, right? The sales jumped. And then the MacBook Neo, I mean, you just can't not buy a MacBook Neo, right? It's so those sales are gonna jump anyway. But I think when you focus on not putting 5 products out at once and you're only putting out 3, then that price ladder, alright, so this is the iPhone 18 Pro. It's nice, but the battery life could be a little bit better. This Pro Max has all the features, and then there's a Fold, but the Fold's really untested. Maybe I shouldn't spend that much money, and I'll just break it down to the iPhone Pro Max. It seems more affordable because there's not an $800 option. You know what I mean?
But if the Pro Max is already the top selling phone, do you think by adding the base model that's gonna destroy the sales of the Fold?
Well, you
2
have to think
different
about it like
categories
this.
of
It's a
sales.
price ladder, right? So they wanna make you think that if you just jump this little bit amount of money, you can get the latest and greatest for not that much. But when you have that
That's a lot
$800
more.
iPhone, right? That iPhone's a great deal, especially last year. That iPhone 17 base model was a great deal. You got ProMotion that they didn't call ProMotion. You got dang near every feature that the iPhone Pros got, right? You just didn't get that new aluminum chassis. You're missing a camera. So it's just I think that the way they're doing it is to kind of push sales more towards the iPhone Pro, 'cause it listen, if you wanna save money, you're already waiting till March anyway, right? And then when March comes around, "Ooh, I can get the 16e, or I can get this slightly better iPhone 18," you know?
Like, do you realize, Quasi, that the 17 Pro Max currently starts at 1,200, right? When you talk about the base of the iPhone Fold going to $2,000, that is a massive jump in price. Not to mention the 1 terabyte is gonna be probably about $3,000, almost like I think it's like $2,900 or whatever it is. That's not a small price increase. You see what I'm saying? So, like, what they're really saying is, you know, for those that cannot afford those top tier iPhones, you must wait until, like, March of next year, whenever it's gonna be that they do the base iPhones, because for some people, that's all they need. They don't like, it could be your grandparents, it could be some, you know, kid that's just getting an iPhone for the first time when he's younger, and, like, to assume that this is your options, like, you're gonna spend at least 1,000 or at least $1,200 in this case. Well, not I would say it's at least $1,000, right? Because you get the Pro, it's different price tier. To me, that is a mistake to do so. If they can produce it and they're just choosing not to because of what you said, kinda not good, because not everybody's gonna be able to drop $1,000 on their phone. Maybe $600 or $700, that's more reasonable, but it's a huge jump. This is probably why the Vision Pro didn't do so well, because it was so egregiously expensive. The want was not the issue, the price was. So I don't know. I think it's a mistake to do it because you are dropping an entire tier of customers from being able to get something that's new this year. And I think that's not a good move. I mean, I'm not getting the base iPhone, right? But there's people that don't care. Like, your grandma, is she getting the Pro Max, the Pro, or
My
the
grandmother
Fold?
is not upgrading her phone.
But I'm saying, like, do you think she's gonna get those 2 options if she was upgrading this year?
Well, she has a 14 plus, so it's
And
not
not a Pro.
entirely out of the realm
Do you see what I'm
of
saying, though?
possibility.
Like, there's just not a certain tier group of people that care about the Pro features or want them. They wanna be able to get something that's less expensive, and that's just out of the window this year. You see how that's I mean, you can get the previous years, like the current right now, that's released now phone. I'm not saying you can't get anything, but you had to be a little careful what you wanna do and just plan out because it's a different move that I wasn't expecting. And is this a John Ternus move or is this a Tim Cook move? No. Okay, moving on here. Okay, so speaking of things that Apple's doing that's not the best. So, you know that Apple has a 7-year cycle currently with the iPhones for iOS, where it's supported with the latest iOS. So, iOS 27 is changing that a bit. And not for the iPhones, but for just a whole lineup. So, I just want to kind of just list some things that we're not going to have compatibility for in iOS, watchOS, iPadOS, and macOS 27. So, from the series 8 and down of the Apple Watch, so 8, 7, 6, Ultra 1, and Apple Watch SE 2nd generation, not supported. iPadOS 27 is dropping it from the iPad mini 5th generation, and iPad 8th generation, iPad 11-inch 1st generation, iPad 12.9 3rd generation, iPad Air 3rd generation. Ooh. Yeah, that sucks too. macOS, MacBook Pro 2019. Does that mean, Quasey, that the M1 is not supported anymore?
So let me check for you. Let me check for you. I think it is. I think. Let me. I think it is getting
Oh,
macOS Golden Gate,
sorry.
but I don't think
That's
it's getting the AI features.
the M1's 2020.
Yeah,
Oof. Woof. That was a little scary. I'm using a
I
2020
think it's
MacBook Pro
only
right now.
dropping Intel support, is it not?
Well, the MacBook Pro 13-inch 2020, which has M1, is dropping. iMac 2020
Is
and
that the one with the
iMac
touch bar?
doesn't say. Don't know. Apple TV HD 2015, Apple TV 4K 1st generation 2017 not supported. I guess, Quasey, what I've seen it with an uproar with this is you have a 7-year cycle for most products, right?
Yeah.
For the Air OSs, except now the Apple Watches. There has been an complete madness of a response with this, Quasey, where people are saying, my Apple Watch Series 1 Ultra, which is now 3 years old, is not supported. Or sorry, 4 years old. My Series 8, 7, or 6, which is not that old either, is not supported. What happened to the 7-year cycle that they had? And my assumption is that the chips that they tested this on is just not compatible. But they could have dumbed down the OS a little bit for those devices.
Hey, no, they couldn't have. Because do you know how much faster my
Yeah.
phone is right now?
Okay,
You wouldn't
Quasi.
believe it. You wouldn't believe it.
Quasi. The iPhone 11 cannot run all the features of iOS 27. It's dumbed down for that device. So the iPhone can do it. Why can't the Apple Watch?
Mm.
Uh, yeah, they done it for other devices. You know, why is the 11 so special? And why is one of the HomePods, I think the first and second generation, I think is what it is. I think is what I saw. It's also supported. So a HomePod that's older than Moses is supported, but not an Apple Watch that's 3 years old? That's kinda bad. I love Apple, but this choice was bogus. That's not cool. I upgraded my Apple Watch Ultra to the second generation. I think I'm glad I did, because I would've been so pissed off if my phone could get the updates, but not my watch. It's not that old, Quasi. They were known to be the company that gave you more updates for your devices for a longer period of time, and that's now changing with the Apple Watch. That's not okay. They're doing it here, what's next? What are your thoughts, Quasi?
As you know, I think that Apple has been absolutely just so generous with their iOS, right? I remember last year they didn't drop support for anything,
Or
and
this
it
year?
was absolutely beautiful, right? This year, the same thing. But considering the fact that somebody 3 years ago spent $900 on a you would assume, right? It would behoove them to keep support for that watch. I'm not entirely sure why we're dropping support for something that first and foremost was a massive hit, right? It's not like they didn't sell any Apple Watch Ultras. It was the highest selling watch that year, right? And I'm not just talking about like the highest selling Apple Watch. It sold more than Rolex, bro. Then again, who's buying Rolexes, right? Rolexes, Rolexes are like $28,000 for something that's just ticking.
You could buy a
They do look really
house
nice.
or a watch.
They do look really nice. You can buy a car or a watch. I don't know about a house. I don't know how much Rolexes really cost. That's not the point, guys. The point is it outsold dang near every watch available, and we're dropping support? Now, I think it's just because John Ternus isn't over there anymore, you know? I think this is,
Hold up.
his
He's not
transition
making the
into
choices for
CEO.
that right now.
His transition into CEO is really
I
he's forgotten about
he's
his
not there yet.
I don't know, Tim Cook said goodbye to me. It's just
I can say goodbye to you at the end of the day too, but I'm back tomorrow, which is what he's doing, you know? Okay, here's the question. Do you think A, they are dropping it for encouragement for customers to purchase one product that might be newer, or do they test it and did not pass the Apple, guarantee of this is gonna work well on your device, so they can maintain a high level of customer satisfaction, as you like to say? Which one do you think it is, Quasi?
think they're trying to just make you purchase a new watch.
If that's the reason, that would be the bogus.exe part.
Because you have to understand, yes, the Apple Watch, I think it's running the same, chip that all the watches before it ran, I think starting with the Series 7, and then they upgraded the chip with the Apple Watch Ultra 2. But I just don't think that it's that bad of a chip, you know?
I just
I could be wrong. Maybe it can't run anything. Maybe, maybe they
no.
tried their hardest.
My guess is, in all honesty, is that it just did not perform like they thought. Because if you can believe it, when they made that chip for the Apple Watch Ultra 1 and SE2 in this Series A and below, iOS 27 and watchOS 27 were not a thing yet. So, I just wonder now that I'm sure they worked together in collaboration, right? But I don't think that there was a in-depth review if that works well to their satisfaction standards or not. Like, that's my guess. I'm guessing that when they put it on there, say, "Let's test this out. I'm gonna be John Ternus," or whatever the Apple Watch guy is now. "Hey, guys, it runs like hot garbage on here. It's slow. It's not responsive as much as it is. If we ship this, people are gonna be pissed off." Right? That's why what it is. That's my guess. Now, that being said, you can remove features or not have the highest features like you see. Like right now, the 17 Pro Max is the only one that can actually run the latest Siri features, all of them, right? You can't run some of them on everything else. So that being said, they could do the same thing, so it'll be support at least one more year. But I think you're gonna get more dissatisfied customers because of this, because now what's gonna happen is this, Quasi. I can have the newest iOS on my phone, but not my watch. And Apple really wants you to have the same OS in both of them. You can run independently different OSs, but you're going to lack features and you're going to see things that happen on here that aren't on here. And it's not a good little mix up. So, does that mean that people are going to omit updating to iOS 27 because of this? Because they can't run the latest version of watchOS on their watch? Those are the questions I have.
Mm. I
What are your
just don't think
thoughts?
that anybody's not updating one of their devices because it's not gonna work with the rest, right? Now, however,
But it's they're just saying to you, Quasi, that your watch is obsolete if it's a Ultra One or below, basically. It's not the 9 or below or yeah, or above, sorry. It's just obsolete. That's what they're telling you. Like your watch, which one do you have, Quasi?
I don't know.
I
I think
believe
I think it's
yours
a
is a
Series
Series
4.
5.
It might be a 5, I don't know.
So yeah,
Alright, we're buying a new one this year.
yours is just nothing to Apple right now. You see what I'm
I know.
saying? Doesn't that make you a little bit mad?
No, not really.
Well, because if your intention is buy a new one, okay, that's whatever. But at the same time, I don't think it's a good idea. I think that was a bad decision. I mean, I have seen a certain individual that I work with get irate, like an old man that sings "Suit Back in a Deli" irate. You know, like one of those irate situations because of this one thing. And it's interesting they did not mention this in the keynote. This was an after the fact thing that they just kind of put, "Oh, here's our compatibility list." You know, and I don't know. That's just to me a very bad move when other devices that are older. Quasi, should I tell you that like a device in 2021 and 2020 and the MacBook series are still supported, but a watch 2 years newer than that isn't?
Yeah, I mean, it's
Doesn't
just
that kind of jive in a wrong way to you? Apple, I want to know why. And people in the comments, does this make you mad, or you be like, it's time to upgrade anyway? Like, are you gonna fall into their little trap that they're gonna make you upgrade because of this? Like, I love Apple, but we will call them out when they're doing wrong, and doing wrong here, I think. Just like how, for some reason my Mac is not charging like it's supposed to. I'm just discharging where I am charging. That's really weird. Anyway, though, um, yeah, I didn't like this. Any closing thoughts, Quasi?
I think that they could have really supported that Apple Watch, but if they tried their hardest and they couldn't figure it out, then I guess, bro.
Yeah, let's go with that. Okay. How about some positive news, Quasi?
Yeah, I mean, let's go with the new iOS 27 update, right? Adam, you have it running on your phone. Have
I
you noticed
do.
I actually don't even want to talk about this anymore because I realize
What'd
you
you
have the
say?
new
Sorry.
Siri
What was your
phone.
question? I
Well,
didn't hear
I
what you
was
said.
gonna
Sorry.
ask you if you've noticed any speed improvements, but then I remembered you have the new Siri, and I don't wanna talk to you anymore.
That's not the speed improvements part, though. I can talk about that
I
first,
still
right?
have this.
You,
I don't want this.
I understand, Quasi.
I want the new Siri
Uh,
app.
what I'll say is this: um, Apple knocked it out of the park when it came to things going faster. They listen their event, right? that it's 30% faster here and faster, faster, faster than everything. AirDrops, the whole works, right? Everything. It is drastically faster. It's so fast that on beta 1 of iOS 27, I don't see anything going, like, awful. I saw first day some issues, right, with UIs and stuff like that. I still have a weird issue with my iMessage where it says I have, like, 82 unread when I don't have anything unread at all. But, like, those are minute things compared to what I usually see with a beta 1. This beta, by far, hands down, has been the most reliable beta I've ever seen in my iOS, hands down. Day 1, I had issues when I was first getting it and putting apps back on because, that happens. But after that, it has been like you need a seatbelt to use this OS. It's so fast. And what I've heard from people is like, so I have a friend. Well, he's kind of an acquaintance, really, but he has an iPhone 15 Pro Max. His phone is faster now. Now that is a massive change in what it used to be. That's a software change, Quasi. This is usually done by a hardware change with software alongside of it. So that means the way they optimize iOS 27 is just it is in a whole new level of awesome. That's amazing. So I'm all for this. What are your thoughts, Quasi?
My no I couldn't breathe out my nose, and
Why you lost?
I was trying to figure out how I could breathe out my mouth without it being, like, really loud, and I'm realizing that I'm just gonna go ahead and, take my nasal opener really quick just to ignore me. But, yeah, I mean, iOS 27 is really fast, and it's making even the oldest iPhones fast, right? I'm gonna turn off my camera real quick, but I'm gonna keep talking, right? Um, I've noticed some severe speed improvements, right? So, like, I used to open TikTok and wait maybe 1 second. Now I open TikTok and it's just open. Like, it shows me the little app icon for half a second, and then it's open, which I think is really great. It's definitely really impressive that they were able to upgrade my phone without me upgrading my phone, you know what I mean? If that makes sense. My phone is more than noticeably faster. It's like and you guys are saying I'm like, you can't tell that I have iOS 7 or 27 because I still have this old Siri, but I promise you, I'm on iOS 27, right? And let's just open any random app, right? Let's open the Target app. Let's open the Target app. Okay, that almost took forever, right?
Well, okay,
Compared to
mind
some of
you,
the other apps here.
Target has not updated for iOS 27 yet.
This
So
would've no, I'm trying to tell you, this would've been 2 years I would've waited. Okay, maybe not 2 years, but it would've been
you
a
would have
lot longer
waited.
than 20 or 2
You,
seconds.
you would have waited as long as it takes for a Walmart pickup for
Yeah, I
that
mean,
app to open up.
I could've opened 2 other apps in that time. I don't know if that's
It's
a notoriously hard app to open or something, but
and here's the thing that I brought up with some friends. Did did you think that, like, it was too slow to open apps in your phone anyway? Like, okay, there's, like, a second delay, like, I blinked and it's open, right, kinda thing. I never said, "Man, you know what? If Apple is doing nothing, they should probably make it faster to open up my stuff." No, they didn't, like, have to do this, but it's a welcome thing for sure because it's a huge improvement. I mean, it is. I just it's so fast you need a seatbelt. That's my quote of the day. It is incredible, and to make other devices feel so fast, it's almost a good change to, iOS where they lack other things that, like, device support, for instance. So, it's so welcomed, I love it, and it is there's no cap here. It is quick. I just wish the updating your Apple Watch with watchOS was faster. They should make that quick. If they're gonna make things something quick, do that. It took 18.5 minutes for me to update to my Apple Watch. Shouldn't do that. That's really bad. Quasi, in closing remarks with this?
just, if you're getting this app or if you're getting this update, make sure that you prepare yourself, right? You're gonna wanna put on a helmet, wear your seatbelt, and, just strap in 'cause you're zooming, right?
Oh,
And I'm actually just so like, I gotta give a hand to Apple, like, they've really Like, they talked about it in the keynote, and I was like, "Oh, it's just a whole bunch of
Yeah,
marketing."
we'll see. That's what
Yeah,
I said
yeah,
too.
we'll see.
But do they not know that this runs so fast that I'm in fear of getting stopped by a cop because I'm exceeding the speed limit and wherever I'm at,
It's pretty it's pretty it's pretty fast.
Like like, you cannot walk with a phone with iOS 27 or in a car in a school zone because 'cause you're gonna exceed the speed limit every time, you know? Which is a really weird analogy. What I'm saying is it's so fast. It really is. This beta is great. The only thing that really needs to happen is apps need to get on it and get updating. Come on, it's been like a week now. Get done. Come on, Square, I'm talking to you. I can open up my the Square, the point of sale and, payment processor. I can open the app Quasi. But if I go to any other tab or menu item, crashes. They just haven't updated for iOS 27. It's gonna happen, but and they'll get to it because technically it's not out for everybody yet. So I'm not really the mad at them. I just want it to work. That's all. Speaking of things that was interesting to me, Quasi, I found it odd that John Ternus made no appearance in Dub Dub. No workshop, no public event, no anything. Did that strike you odd?
She just didn't even notice. To be honest with you.
Didn't notice. Did you watch
I
the
I
keynote?
wasn't looking for him, so it
You weren't looking for John Ternus. Okay. Maybe
correct.
I
I was
was.
I was more looking for my guy Craig. You know me.
He's the guy. I get and John's the hardware guy currently, right? I get that. But here's the thing though. I know that Tim Cook is like still CEO, and I realize that his appearance is gonna be something people want to see, especially towards the end of his career as the Apple CEO. But like they could have had him, John, at some point just say, "Hi, guys," or something, you know? Like,
It'd be cool if they, like, had a
We saw
passing talk
Jaws,
moment.
you know? He was there in the hippie van smoking all kinds of stuff, right? We saw him, the Apple's crack marketing team, and we saw people that I had no idea who they are and that they existed at Apple until that event. What I'm saying is, they could have had John, you know, in there somewhere. I just found it odd that he wasn't there at all, and maybe it's because they want to still showcase Tim Cook, because John's not the CEO currently, and John's more the hardware side for the events in September, but I just kinda wish that he was there because it would've been nice to see his little, his version of Tim's "Welcome to Apple Park," or whatever he says, right? And not saying to replace, Tim's version of that, but maybe, have one transition to John Ternus to say something. Or just him walking or just something. I don't know. What are your thoughts with that? It didn't make you feel odd that he wasn't there at all? Really?
I mean, he's gonna be in future events. This doesn't like, yeah, WWDC is the second biggest Apple event every year, but it's not like the general public is watching this, you know what I mean? Like, it's mostly people like you and me, and that's why we get to report on it, and people watch us to report on it, right? Now, if it was
Like,
a September event, we have a little bit less to report on because everybody's watching the September event.
well, that
You
is
gotta
a
show
very
the
time
September event.
when if I don't see John Ternus, there's something wrong. You know? Like, September 1st is his time that he's now CEO. But that being said, like like, I really want to see at this event somehow, some way, like, the passing of the torch, you know? Like, what have been great in this head is like, when Tim was saying goodbye, he had his little heartful message and all that other great stuff, right? Like, right then, bring in John to say, "Thank you guys for coming to Apple Park. We love that you're here. Thank you all the developers, and we cannot wait to see you in September." Like, even that, right? Where he's not the focus of everything, he's there, but, it's a little bit of a way to, pass the torch a little bit, and I wanna see the pass the torch because this is gonna be one of the rare cases during an event that you'll see an Apple CEO passing the torch to new CEO. The unfortunate news is in the last CEO switch, it wasn't because Steve Jobs just wanted Tim Cook to be the CEO. There was an unfortunate event that occurred with Steve Jobs where then Tim Cook took over, right? And this is an opportunity that they have to make this moment heartfelt and wonderful, right? Where Tim's still present, he's still here, but John's new guy. And I just kind of wanted to see that, I guess, more than anything. And we'll probably see that in September. But this is not bad having him in this event, right? He's got to get used to it anyway. He's going to be part of it anyway, whether he likes it or not. And I don't know, like, just bring him in there so he can just be seen and heard and just, that he's there and present. That's my point. And there are articles online saying the same thing. It's not just me saying this. People just kind of want to see him there, right? And it's weird that he wasn't there, you know? Say back in his office, make the next iPhone full or whatever, right? That's not what I'm saying. Does that change anything of your answer, or do you still like, I don't care, he wasn't there?
I mean, the event's over now. We can't do too much change.
Oh, I get that. But like after the fact, do you kind of wish he was there? No? Okay.
I
Well,
didn't miss
there's
like, it wasn't
two
I
opposite
didn't
sides of the spectrum. That's okay. I
I
mean,
didn't feel like I didn't feel a void. It's not like I couldn't fathom the event without him, right? I'm sure he was doing something important that it didn't allow him to go there, and,
like, if the CEO found time for this event, can't he?
just very important for the CEO to be there.
But, like, okay, and the other side of things, generally speaking, the hardware guy and, like, the processor dude, right, that I can't remember his name, um, they're not usually at this event as a whole, right? Because there's 2 different sides of it. This is the software side, and then the one September's the hardware side. So there's that, if you wanna talk about that. But the reason why I think it was more necessary to have John is because his very up and coming role change and just to be present in the event. And it didn't have to be like a focus on him more so. Just it could have been like even him walking after the announcement of the Golden Gate name, right? Just something, some little Easter egg or something. Just he was there. I don't know. Just something I would have done. Okay. Okay. Let's move on, Quasi.
So, let's
Sorry.
bring up
This was
Analyst Charlie
not
Chaplin
meant to
as
be on
well.
purpose, Quasi. I not want
And,
to.
I really feel like I could have taken the last topic and you could have taken this one. But you know what? It's fine, Adam. I'll talk about the Siri that I don't currently have on my phone. It's fine. So, if you missed it, at WWDC, it was, they kind of sped through everything and then they got to Siri and they talked on end about Siri. Like I'm saying, like every 2 seconds we were on some new Siri feature
That was the whole
on,
point.
and I I'm not upset about it. You're gonna see a new Siri app. You're Now I don't even know what the Siri app does because I don't have it. Right? Actually, that's not true. I do know some stuff that it does. Like it has some conversational AI. Ooh, can I actually pivot really quick? This is not coming to the EU, right? If you're an EU listener, you are
Yet.
not getting this. And you might be like, why is that? Quasi, I really want the new Siri, right? Why can't I have it? Well, first and foremost, look no further than your own government. This time, Apple has gotten the best of the EU government. You know how the EU always forces Apple to change to USB-C or do X and do Y and do Z, right? This time, Apple is saying, no, we're just not going to do it, right? The EU is saying that because Apple is able to have some conversational awareness by looking into your and context awareness by looking into your text messages and whatnot, that it has to open that up to other AIs, right? Here's the issue with that. I don't know if you exactly want which AI. Maybe you're not a fan of Google, right? Maybe you don't want Gemini to have all of your information. Maybe you're not the biggest fan of Elon Musk and Grok, right? Maybe you don't want Grok to have your information, right? Apple keeps all that stuff behind Apple's number one thing, which is security. And because of this. Unfortunately, if you live in the EU, because they won't open it up to other AIs, you're not allowed to see Siri AI, which is just another reason to move to the land of the free and the home of. But there are some iOS features you should know about.
So wait a
And
second.
go
Just
ahead.
just a question. Sorry to interrupt. So if you were like in the EU and you went on vacation to America and bought a phone in America and then went back home to your home place, does that mean you still can't use it?
I just have no clue how that works.
And can't they just change your region of the phone
You
to
can't change the region of the phone because I tried that before to get side loading back when it first came out, and it just didn't work. So
I'm not trying to work around this issue. I'm just asking questions because
I'm gonna get my Siri AI.
I'm sorry you're not getting that, Quasey, but you did wait far too long to get it.
If I don't get it today, I'm selling my iPhone. I'm joking, of course. It's just not happening.
I'm just saying though, um, do you realize how many people there is at least more than 5 people that want iOS 27 and Siri AI. So, that being the case, you're just in a huge bucket
It
of
seems
waiting.
like the entire world wants this gosh darn thing.
I don't like I don't like that they're making it a wait list, you know?
I'm
I
also
wish it was just when you get it, you have it. If the purpose of having iOS 27 as a developer right now is to test it, provide feedback, and build your apps, it's kinda hard to do that when you have that feature turned off. You know, you can't use Siri Kit or whatever they call it, so the Siri integrations and the extensions and all this other stuff. It's hard to test that if you don't have it. So, like, I get you can request it and get it, but, like, as Quasi is experiencing, here's, like, a day later from when it came out, right? I got my iOS 27 the minute it came out, and I requested that the minute I could. So, like, I just got put into a very early boat of who got access to it, and I'm thankful for Apple for giving me access, and it's really great. But it's unfortunate people like Quasi just can't, and some other people I know too. Um, and the indexing, is you're still indexing Quasi?
yeah, I don't know how long that's gonna take.
Mine's
That's what you know.
finally done.
I don't even know what it's
Now,
indexing, to be quite honest with you.
it's everything, your texts, your apps, your logs, your pictures, the whole works. And I have an
Well, I
egregious
have
amount.
over 10,000 photos, so my thing might not be done for the coming year.
Well, I have more than you do, and mine's done now. So just know that it's not gonna take as long as you think. But
You
you
have
also did
over 10,000 photos and videos?
Oh, yeah.
You just go
Let's
to your
let's
Photos app and let me know the number, and then I'll tell you my number. I was just, completely wrong on my number, by the way. It is not 10,000. It's actually
how many photos do you have?
it says 11,519 items. Yeah, you
45,523.
wrap it up, pal. Stop taking pictures of everything.
How many apps do you have?
So it's much less than you. I don't even know
I
how to
know.
see that, but much less than you.
Under general about, how many apps?
General,
I'll tell you mine to start with. 1,222.
yeah, 147. I just bro, what do I need 1,000 apps for? That's just I don't need 1,000 apps.
This is weird. Uh,
Oh,
okay, this is a weird thing to me. So I have AppleCare Plus with theft and loss prevention, right, the
right.
plan. And then I saw this weird thing underneath saying upgrade your coverage.
I'm
Then I'm
actually about
like,
to upgrade my
there
coverage to
really is
AppleCare Plus.
not a plan that is more than that for AppleCare Plus. That's the highest plan they have. So what could that possibly be? Guess what it is, Quasey? Just take a guess.
AppleCare One.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm actively let me just show you my screen.
Well, no.
I'm actively upgrading
It,
as we speak.
so, okay. Here's the issue with this. Yeah, I might have to talk to the wife about that. Here's the thing I don't like about it. I wish you could do it with the family. 3 devices. If you're gonna get to 3 devices anyway, why can't I say my wife's phone, my phone, and one of our watches, right, or something like that, right? Why is it gotta be only my devices?
So I actually just paid the $20. I know
Yeah, I might
this is
cause
off
I'm
topic.
paying. But does that also include, though, the loss prevention?
Yeah,
Oh, it does, it says right underneath it. I might talk to wife about that, that's not that
I
much
am
more.
currently adding my Mac to my plan.
Okay. Well, that's nice. All I have to say, though, is, my test of Siri, it's fantastic. It is so much better than it was before. The one thing I'll say, though, is I still get that when I say, "Hey, Siri," doesn't always listen for that, or, "Siri," nothing. Getting it to start listening is not always the best. I mean, that's good for some things too, but when I do get it to actually listen, it, is quite wonderful. It does way better responses, it's very fast. It kinda has the Gemini feel to it. The backend Gemini makes it even nicer. I guess the question is, Quasi, if it includes Gemini now, does it require do we have to have Gemini and pay for that still? I don't think it's the same Gemini, though. It's Gemini models, but we don't get the full, like, what we get now with Gemini. So, but that's pretty nice. I mean, I like it. It's been good in my testing. I'll test them more to see, but the dedicated app is really nice. I will say that the interface for it, I wish it was kinda same around the screen, but they made it differently with Dynamic Island, but it's more responsive, it's way faster to get a response, and you get what you need the first time typically, so it's really nice. So, I like that. Alright. This one's gonna touch a little subject, Quasi, because I'm one of these users. So, I just me personally, I just really cannot stand ads. Like, I don't think you understand. I'd rather walk into a hitch,
I'm right
shin
there.
first, than watch an ad or see an ad. And ads on websites and then usually streaming services and stuff are getting to be way too much. I mean, it hurts me to the core that there's so many ads, and it they're not even relevant ads, It's about things I'm never gonna buy, and because I don't like the ad, I usually, to myself, say, "I'm never buying that now because I saw an ad because it disrupted what I was doing. I wanted to see this article, but now I gotta see this stupid ad." So all that being said, I use a thing called uBlock Origin, which is a really good app for, Chrome, Safari, Edge, Firefox, and so on, right? And because most browsers are using the backend of Chromium, they're gonna have a little bit of a change coming soon. So the Manifest V2 extensions are gonna be gone in June 2026, which is actually coming up very shortly, which means that the uBlock Lite and the uBlock Origin, apps are going to not be possible to get, according to Google. They'll be razor around it, I'm sure. But they're gonna do their best to stop you from getting apps that block ads. I don't like this at all. What are your thoughts, Quasi?
Well, as you know, for Quasi pays for ad blockers on not ad blockers. Quasi pays for premium on everything so that he doesn't have to see ads, right? I
Hold
have
up, but that's not the point, Quasi. This is like any generic site, not just YouTube. I'm talking about like
yeah,
you
I
go
mean,
on a recipe site, you go on whatever
well, that's your
ads.
first issue there. You're going on a recipe site. But I just put my thing in reader mode and then I'm chill, right? It's reader mode typically takes away the ads and helps you focus in on just the article. So that's what I do.
Yeah, but pictures are gone, right?
Why does it say why did Apple just send me an email saying my Apple Care Plus plan has been canceled?
You changed it, which then
I
cancels
don't
the
like
other
how it
one.
said canceled. That's scary.
Yeah.
Canceled
Well, if
is
you read
not
it,
the
it
word.
should say it's been changed or something, right? What I'm saying though is this is gonna make me mad,
Oh, I
and
got a
I hope
refund.
there's it's very good too. I really hope that there's a way that I can still put on ad blockers and stuff to prevent this because me no like ads.
Me no like ads either.
Like 'em. I hate them as streaming services. I hate
There
them
with you.
most.
Horrendous.
Like, okay, like I said, Tubi, free app, free service, ads, I understand. That makes sense. I don't like them still, but it makes sense because it's free. But when you charge a monthly fee and have ads, abomination, what you are. Don't do that. Well, the plan's cheaper. That's like saying this. We took a muffin that was very good and made it a little bit smaller, and there's less of them in the package, but it's cheaper now. See, that makes no sense to you? It's kind of stupid. No, what you can do is this. How about you make a free plan and have ads? That makes sense. Or you have a plan that has no ads. That's really the only two options as a streaming service. Do not do both. I
I
cannot stand
agree.
that. I really hate that to the core. If you can't sustain and not have ads in your plans that people pay for, you're the problem. So I have to say, uBlock Origin's they're gonna do their best to block it. I hope that you can just take somehow an extension and just siloed it on your browser, if that makes sense, to put it back on because I hate this concept that you can't have something like this on your browser to block ads. Because even if you pay for like the Facebook Plus or whatever quick that's coming out soon, you still have ads.
Facebook Plus. The
I'm
new
not getting
Instagram
that.
Meta subscription thing.
Just not getting that. Are
Yeah,
you
I mean,
getting that?
it's just probably not the best for you.
I'm not getting that. I'm not paying Facebook for their platform that's been free for long time now. No, not me. Okay, any thoughts, Quasey? What are your thoughts about this with uBlock being blocked
I
by
mean,
Chrome?
Adam had me download uBlock Origin, but I don't really use it, so it's not affecting me too bad. I'm not crying about it, but I know that Adam's going through it, and I'm sorry to hear it for you, Adam.
It hurts. It hurts me in the feelings. So
It does. Hey, so fun fact, this is really awkward, but that article that you the one for this one, just I'm like looking at it and it's just like not loading for me. This is really awkward.
slow for me.
If you wanna
I
just
closed it though.
if you wanna just take it and then I'll listen to what you're
Well,
saying.
the very last article, you mean?
Yeah, that one.
Oh,
Yeah, I
so
think
I was hoping
take
you would
it.
take this because I really can't say the name of the company.
Oh, Anthropic?
Yeah, that's how you say it. So Anthropic, um, is being forced by the US government to ban Claude Fable 5 and Mythos 5 bar access from any foreign national, even its own employees. So that also means that like you can't use it here too, I believe, right? They stopped it. And there's an article that I seen, sorry, a X post or Twitter post about this. So um, I'm not 100% understanding why why this is happening. I don't get that per se, but what I'm getting at is what's Claude doing that the government is blocking them completely to be able to use Claude 5? Let me just do this. Hold up.
Holding.
So the US government ordered Anthropic to suspend access to Claude 5's Fable and Mythos, whatever you call it, due to national security concerns over their powerful cybersecurity capabilities. So you could potentially jailbreak specific code and exploits for certain software, export controls, Boy, there's just a lot of fluff here. It doesn't really make sense. And it doesn't mean compliance, as well for national security. So essentially, you can use it to do bad stuff. Um,
Sorry.
okay, okay. So they're blocking it, and people are having a little bit of a fit about that. Speaking of using Claude, were you sad that this Claude 5 is like blocked now, or are you just not sad?
Well, I didn't know that Claude 5 even came out, right? I used Claude for the first time the other day, and I'm not really too tapped in with the Claudes, right? So I'm sorry, guys. I'm not giving you the best outlook on this, but I promise you, once I get informed, we will be informed. Everybody, you know. And I'm sure that X Y equals Z, and that Claude probably it's probably too powerful, is what it is. It's probably too good at what it's doing. And I remember seeing earlier in the year that Claude was that the U.S. government was like trying to blackball Claude because the Pentagon wanted it to kind of, I think it's like spy on its own people. It's not great. So the Pentagon is no longer using Claude, and
Mm.
you know some other
So
stuff like that. So I will say I love how Anthropic has always stood firm on their thing with security and how um they're not gonna like try and let their product be used for, I don't know how to put it, for like negative stuff.
so this might explain things a little bit easier. I have a great article from Malwarebytes that explains this a little bit. So, in recent updates from major software vendors like Microsoft and Google, even Firefox, we've seen growth in number of patched vulnerabilities after vendors began using AI guided search for more vulnerabilities in their own software. For instance, Firefox found 270 vulnerabilities after they used Anthropic's new Claude models to code their stuff. And we've seen Google, which is interesting because they have Gemini, and we have seen Microsoft, and we've also seen Firefox and several other companies using Claude to code their own apps. Once again, I will preface with saying this. Be very careful with using AI to code your stuff. It can be a great assistant for certain things, but to use it solely to code specific parts of your software and offerings of services can backfire on you. And it currently is for a lot of vendors. You need to have coders there that can make sure the code is like it should be. They can do some testing with things and make sure it works for every little function that it's supposed to do. Because if one thing breaks, it causes more and more issues. I just yesterday, the day before, was trying to install Windows 11 from a flash drive. And oh my gosh, the issues I had from a one version ago of doing that, that worked 2 weeks ago, but all of a sudden now has lots of issues. So I had to remake the newest version of Windows 11 for it to work, and it's still kind of buggy right out the box. So I'll say this, just be very careful as developers and don't replace them because you think this is going to be cheaper. First off, it's really expensive using Claude, as you'll know quickly. But beyond all that, it's just, it's a tool to help, not to replace. The replace part of it is not anywhere close to doing that. So, you know, I just think that they have to realize that you can't just use this as your main coding source and not have people do it. And stop getting people that are developers getting lazy because you're using this because they want to take an easier break with it. It- Assistance is nice, but and just be careful with it. So that's why they're blocking it. Now that makes sense to me because there's been a lot of issues with this. So here's the other part of this too that people don't really talk about. If companies like Microsoft and Google and Firefox and so on use Claude to code their stuff, does that mean that Anthropic kind of has very sensitive information by these companies? Things that are closed source, you know, code for various different things? That is a kind of bigger security risk that I could think of in my life because now you're using, not just using it, it's doing it for you, and they now have that information. I don't know if I want one company to have that much code about software that I use. You get that?
Yeah.
I mean, I know GitHub has a bunch of repositories for things, and that's locked down pretty good, but this is like, it's not just seeing it, it's making it. So does it have influence on what it makes? Or maybe add things that you don't know it's gonna add? You see what I'm saying? Just know that could be a little bit of an issue as well for security. So, any thoughts about this, Gracie?
Yeah. So I had to gather my thoughts. So you make a great point. Obviously, Claude is really good at what Claude does, right? But it should not be replacing humans, right? So first and foremost, I know that a lot of companies are using AI to help improve their workflow and whatnot, but there's also people who are taking way more advantage of that than need be. And those people, you know, if you're giving your entire life to AI, I can't remember the analogy you made the other day, but what I'll say is AI is a tool. It's not a lifestyle, right? You have a toolbox, and the number one tool should be your brain, and then you have like a hammer to put in the nails, right? You've gotta start doing things on your own. That way, when the AI or takeover happens, you're not an idiot. You know what I mean? Like you gotta be able to put two and two together without asking Gemini. Without asking, you gotta know how to code your stuff without asking Claude because it can make mistakes, and if you can't figure out how to fix those mistakes, you're just wrong. You know?
Yeah, it's a good tool. That's what's good right now. It might that might change, but I don't wanna get to a point where I see developers getting laid off because, CEOs think that AI can just do everything for them. Because here's also the thing, if AI is down, who's gonna do this stuff? You know, their platform's down or whatever, right? And there's just other things with that too. Um, I try my best now to not use, like, Gemini for everything, but I do use it for, a lot for assistance, not to just do everything for me. Because of that very reason, I wanna be able to have my own critical thoughts and not just have it do everything for me because, you know, it's not always right about things. And like, here's a great example. I used it to do a specific thing recently and it forgot to add this and this and this and this based upon my prompt or this and this. And I had to tell it 3 times to make sure that it was incorporating all of it to make the output perfect. And it finally got to there, but 4 times of prompting it. So it's early stages of this, and it's a different type of AI than it used to be, so just be careful with how you use it. That's all I'm saying. Alright, Quasi, I wanna know your product and app of the week really quick.
Okay, so my product of the week, I can't. Oh, I actually do know my product of the week off the top of my head. So unless you've been living under a rock, right? You saw that the Knicks just won the NBA Finals, and you've seen that the city of New York is in ruins, but also another major world event is going on, and it's the FIFA World Cup, right? And now people host watch parties all the time, right? And it's very important that you have the right snacks at these FIFA World Cup watch parties, right? Because if you only have chips and queso, right? I don't know if I'm gonna be at your house. You gotta have food. You gotta have like wings or something, right? Pizza maybe, right? It's very important that you have some sort of chips, right? And you need a dip, right? And then on top of that, you need something sweet. You need some sort of candy, right? I was telling Adam, Jolly Ranchers are a safe option, but you can never go wrong with the big old bag of M&Ms. And that's why this week my product of the week is going to be the what is it? 13 ounce? Hold on. Let me open it. I think it's 13 and a half ounces of
I
no,
think
it's
it is too.
2.4 pounds. I'm not sure what that is in ounces, but for
A
13.99, you
lot.
can get 2.5 pounds of M&Ms. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This is not good. When I bought these, maybe the week before school ended, and I demolished them that same week. Not great at all. Not great, right? And
So
it's
you're
not like I was
saying
sharing,
that this is really good for a World Cup party, but it's not what I did with them.
but it could also be good for you, right? It's not good for you. Let me clarify. It's not like healthy, but I demolished it.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
I can see
that's
that.
my product of the week. And in case you're wondering about, perhaps my app of the week, I've decided to tell you guys about my FICO, which is a credit score tracking app. Completely free, by the way, or not completely.
Nice.
There's in-app purchases where you can unlock your credit score from all three bureaus because they change up a little bit. But for the most part, um, it gives you, I think, uh, Experian data. It might be Equifax. It's one of the E's.
It's both of them, I think.
Without the subscription though.
Oh,
Yeah, it gives you Equifax without the subscription, but you could also upgrade it and get the TransUnion and Experian. So, just, as you get older and as you wanna start taking out money from banks and stuff, you're gonna need a credit score. You're gonna need to know what your credit score is, right? If you're I've heard some horror stories about parents who took out loans in their kids' names and yada yada,
don't
and
need
now
that.
their kids have, like, $4 million in debt and a 200 credit score. It's not great. It's kinda scary when you think about it, but, stuff like that, just keep an eye out for your credit score. It's very
You really
important.
should.
What about you, Adam?
My product of the week is it's AXV vibration plate, and, I kind of was first introduced about this in the weight room that we have here on campus, um, and my wife bought one, not this exact one. I can't remember what she bought now. But this is a very highly rated one that's on sale. And if you've never been on one of those plates that vibrate, it is life changing. It's amazing. It helps you lose weight. It does make you feel really good when you're on it too. It helps you lose stress. And it's really nice. You can do workouts on it and all this other fun stuff. So that is my product of the week. And my app of the week, if you can believe it, hold up here, is Retro Bowl College. So this
Really?
kinda brings me
Big
back.
fan of that one.
Huh?
I'm a big fan of that one.
Yeah.
I have it
It's,
on my
uh
iPad.
it's brings you back to the, like, almost like a NES kinda style football off your phone, and, it has great features. It's a really fun game. I think there's in-app purchases, but I don't think you need to have them to play the game. It's free for the most part. So what is in-app purchases? I'm just curious now. The unlimited version is $1.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I have the unlimited for both Retro
It's
Bowl and
$1,
Retro
that's not too
Bowl
expensive.
College.
But coaching credits, okay, that I'm not sure if I'm ever gonna do,
Don't
but,
ever purchase coaching credits, you don't need those.
yeah, but,
Especially
I
in Retro Bowl College where you're only gonna keep those guys for 4 years.
that's true. That's very true. So that's my app of the week, and, I like it. It's really fun. So, alright. Well, that concludes this episode for the One More Thing Type podcast. We have some cool things coming up shortly,
Yeah,
that we
definitely
won't tell
keep
you
an
until
eye out.
about next week. It's coming very soon, though. Yeah. So, that's all I can say. I don't wanna get too much away, but, um, yeah, we're just gonna say next week you should really check out the what gets released from us.
Tic
That's
Tac?
all I'll say.
Do you want them to look at the Tic Tac app?
Well, that's just one place it might be on some other ones too. Um, yeah, there's things coming. That's all I gotta say.
Definitely things coming.
Gotta build some hype here, where we have some things working in the background. So anyway, have a fantastic week, everybody. Thank you so much for following us. Hit that like and subscribe. And we're still working with our host to get on the Apple Video podcast thing. Just so you know, Apple is like slowly rolling it out, and it's not to everybody yet. It's only to very specific people, and which is kind of bad, also. So when that does get released, you'll see us on there. Just so you
Yeah,
know,
they just
working
love
on that.
slowly releasing things, don't they? Just
Yeah, I
huge
don't know.
fans of that.
Don't know why. Come on now. mean, we're the hugest Apple fans in the entire industry, so we should really hit this up with that. So anyway, that's coming very soon as well. Well, thanks guys so much. Have a fantastic week, and we'll see you next Friday.
All right, bye, guys.
See ya.